for the first time being there is no legally appointed supervisor. I'm asking our board to appoint me temporary chairperson to open this meeting and get on with the business.
I move to appoint Councilman Simmons as temporary chairperson of this board meeting.
Oh my
Second.
God.
All in favor?
No.
Do you have that, who's in favor, who's out? Okay. All right, I'll explain what happened. The motion to, please, quiet. The motion to appoint Lindemann was duly made and seconded at the February meeting. Due to the deputy supervisor's blocking of the motion and subsequent disruption by the public, no vote was ever effected. I'm sorry, we're going to be quiet or you're not going to be here.
Come on, see, Jack like Adolf.
You heard what I said.
You're in this position. I got something to say for 2 minutes. I got.
You don't have 2 minutes until later.
No,
in the
you
program.
screwed up the January meeting personally,
Come on,
and
come on.
I will.
Come on.
And you see, I know.
Come on.
This is all
Out
that
of the
cost
building.
the town all kinds of money because you screwed it up personally.
You have your chance.
You screwed it all up for Mr. Platt up there.
All right. Because of the blocking of the motion, that closes the door behind me. I can tell there. Due to the deputy supervisor's blocking of the motion and subsequent disruption by the public, no vote was ever effected. We didn't go back and pick up on the vote. We had the motion, we had the second, but we never went back and cut the vote because of the disruption. Since the board abolished the deputy supervisor position, and Kaluzny was in fact deputy, there is no one else to open this meeting. Also, because it is extremely important that town business be conducted in an orderly and uninterrupted fashion, the public is asked to please hold comments and questions until scheduled later in the agenda. Otherwise, you will be asked to leave the building for the duration of the meeting. I would ask you to rise and do the pledge.
As advised by the town attorney, I move that all actions taken during the February 11th meeting subsequent to Mr. Lindemann's appointment as supervisor, as well as all actions taken by Mr. Lindemann as town supervisor, be ratified and deemed legally binding.
I'll second.
Okay. Those agreeing?
Aye.
By aye? Aye?
Night.
Nay. You got that okay, Mike? I would like to have the oath of office be given to Mr. Lindemann. Can you do that, Mike?
I will get the yellow cards if somebody wants to do it.
We need didn't we get the Bible last time?
Okay.
We're going to the Bible.
Passing this back and forth.
We ought to just keep it handy.
Mr. Kellogg, you want to do the honors again?
If you want me to.
I do.
He's got to make copies of them when you send them.
It's been a long day. Hopefully we all get along. It's been a long day.
Thank you, Mike.
Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, John Linderman,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United
and
States
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution. Okay. We need to take the roll.
Sid is here. Clifford Evans is here. John Gettle. Scott Hillman. John Linderman. George is missing.
Okay. Next up is the minutes of the previous 4 meetings. We need to approve the revised corrected minutes of all 4 meetings. The organizational meeting of January 14th. The special meeting of January 21st. The regular board meeting of January 14th as well. And the regular meeting February 11th, 2014. Now, everybody received these by email, so they should have had time to review them, so we don't need to read line by line and take up another hour and a half doing that. You didn't receive it.
I move to accept the revised version of the minutes and have them recorded under the term.
Second.
We have a vote.
Aye.
Aye.
They were edited on the computer.
By you?
Okay. As soon as Frank's ready, we'll move on to correspondence.
Take your time.
Okay. Do we have any correspondence?
I have a couple. Yesterday I received a call about 12:55 from a person on Shady Lane regarding an issue with people putting tires in the way and reducing the lane down to 1 lane.
Up in that road?
Yeah, up in that
Yeah.
road. And I did not say I would mention it at the board meeting, because he plowed the road, I guess, and plowed people's tires and cones out of the way.
They had no choice if we were going to plow the road.
Yeah, and they were not too pleased apparently. So
Should have called the cops.
I recommended him to
Good,
call the cops.
good.
But he did have a question regarding if the town has an easement or right of way, 50 foot.
The legal road is 3 rods, which is 49 dot something feet. But that road is not even remotely legal, so I couldn't see that ever being an issue. I'm not the lawyer. But
Well, I told him that he could, because he asked about whose responsibility it would be and who would be covered. From the New York State Records Management Office. Do you want me to read it? Or?
what's it about?
It's about records management
Uh-huh.
regarding the Lyndon Fire District having records here.
Okay, yes, better read it.
Okay. Dear Ms. Bean, let me take this opportunity to introduce myself as your Record Advisory Officer, RAO, and a free consultant in all areas of records and information management. It is my job to assist local governments in legislative regions 8 and 7 with issues that affect their public records and official information. I offer many free workshops providing technical matters and assist with grants through the local government records management fund program. That is the records management grant. You are probably aware that our art and cultural affairs law mandate that all governments in New York State create programs for managing records and appointing a records management officer to oversee activities. This legislation is also sometimes states who the RMO should be, such as in the fire district, where this is always the district secretary. While I am here to help you in your role as records management officer, ultimately you hold the responsibility for identifying, protecting, caring for, and providing access to all of the official records created by the Lyndon Fire District. That means in part that all of the files generated to document the ongoing work of the district must be located within the confines of district offices. Lyndon Fire District should have sole custody of and exclusive access to all of its records. Please do not hesitate to reach me by email at gfisher@mail.nysed.gov if you have questions. And I can be of help to you in any way. And please feel free to call me at 585-261-3299 to discuss my recommendations. Thank you very much for your consideration. Sincerely, Gail Fisher.
Can I suggest we move this to new business?
Okay. We'll move this
Rather
to
than discuss
business.
it now,
It's correspondence.
Oh,
We'll move it to
new
new
business.
business. Any other correspondence?
The only thing I have, I don't know if it's under correspondence or new business, but over the last week I attended a course for newly elected town official seminar in Salamanca, and it was really informative. It was put on by two town law attorneys with each had 30-plus years experience, and it was I got quite a bit out of it. So that's it. I mean, there's no new news necessarily, but I just wanted to kind of let it be known that I attended a course, so I can figure out what the heck I'm doing here.
You may be the first of us. Okay.
Okay. Committee reports. Policy, there's none. Others? None. Okay, we'll move on to old business.
The physical spaces are defined as the boardroom, the records vault, the file room, the town office, and workroom. The physical office spaces of the town building are somewhat limited, and town clerk, supervisor, and their assigned deputies often require access to the town office, computer system, related equipment, and materials in order to complete their assigned duties. And adequate steps have been taken by the board to secure the premises by installation and control of locks and passcodes, which, while providing safety and security for all town documents, therefore, be it resolved, the town supervisor shall, under the direction of the town board, manage and control all town property and assign specific duties to other town offices as necessary to assure custody and protection of all town property. 2. The town clerk and the town supervisor shall jointly occupy and conduct public business in the areas of the town hall not designated as the highway garage. 3. The days and hours that the public can expect access to the town clerk and public records shall be posted where the public can observe. 4. It shall be further resolved that the town supervisor shall assign access to specific individuals and groups with town board approval, and such access will be controlled to specified areas by means of access codes. Such access shall not interfere with scheduled town functions such as boardroom meetings, court sessions, and it shall not include areas of the town office and fire.
So,
Need a motion?
we need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept that.
I'll second. Vote.
Aye.
Nay. Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have another records management. That's we need someone to read the resolution 7-2014. Okay, I'll read it. Resolution 7-2014, records management. Whereas Arts and Cultural Affairs Law 57.19 designates the town clerk as records management officer, who is charged with the duty of managing and protecting all town documents, and Arts and Cultural Affairs Law 57.31 requires that town records be kept in secure facilities maintained by the town. The town has provided adequate facilities for the secure storage of all town documents in the form of an environmentally controlled storage vault and additional fire-resistant lockable fire cabinets, and the RMO has exclusive access to these facilities. Therefore, be it resolved, the provided facilities listed above be used for security and safety of all town documents as described in Lyndon Document Storage Policy, approved and revised 12/10 of 2013 by the Lyndon Town Board. That the town clerk, as RMO, has complete control of and access to those specified areas that have been reserved for document storage.
You gonna make that a motion?
I will move that we accept this resolution.
I'll second. I'll second it.
Vote.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. I asked the board for approval to have new keys made for the town office and for lock bars to be installed on 2 file cabinets. Here's what the lock bars are. Right now, if we order them from this place, it would be $25.95 for each bar, plus probably shipping and handling, plus tax or whatever. Then padlocks as well. I'm guessing right now $91.70, so it's under $100, and that's what they look like for the 4 drawers. We need 2 of them.
And this, now what's in these cabinets?
Vital statistic stuff and quick stuff and
There's-
money.
And this is all stuff that's, you need readily
Readily,
available.
yeah, you
They
can't
go
go
in
in
here.
now.
Yeah. And there's 2 cabinets with the same key, and my stuff is in that one cabinet. And it would cost so much money, too much money, to get the actual locks changed.
The lock, well, no, it's not just keys, but the physical lock has to come out of those.
Oh,
The
okay.
locks are, I want to say, it's $52 or $59 plus
Lots of labor, probably.
lots of labor. They said at least an hour or 2.
Yeah, this is certainly a better way to do it.
$65.
There's another company here that has basically the same thing, but they're more expensive. And Austin Security has them too, but they cost a couple $100 almost for both those. They have a different kind too. Austin does, where if you had to replace a lock, it would cost you a lot more money to replace that. This way you can just replace the padlock.
Gone are the days you throw everything in a cardboard box, huh?
Yeah.
We hope.
But that would solve the security issue, I believe. Everybody.
Can I recommend getting 3 of them?
If the board would go with
Recommend
3 of
getting
them.
3 so that there's, on 3 of the cabinets then, because we were told.
Instead of one single key that you ended up with for the other one?
Yeah.
Is that what you come?
Yeah,
I think that
because-
makes a lot of sense.
3 of them?
Yeah.
'cause we
So we're
were-
looking at probably $150 for
Let's say, I will move that we authorize up to $200, not to exceed $200 for the...
Any second?
I'll second. Sounds reasonable.
Vote?
You know,
Aye.
Scott, you said that.
Yes.
And
That's for the cabinets, the keys.
there's only 2 keys.
If there's only 2 keys, if I could get possession of those 2 keys, we can avoid another bill that we have right there.
Yeah.
And
I would need a key. I actually don't even want a key.
you don't want a key.
I don't think anybody really needs a key.
No, the key's
if
just
we-
mainly for emergencies.
I mean, if we lock it up that would,
We got access for the codes.
Again, didn't I read we kept a key off-site somewhere? Somebody, neutral
which key are we
person?
talking
A
about?
neutral
For
person?
what?
The key for these locks right here.
the door lock.
Oh, the door lock.
Yeah, keys.
Do you think?
There's a voucher in there already when they changed the keys.
That was the first one.
Yeah,
But
it says there's 2 keys.
how many keys were there in there? Just 2? Do we have them?
Yes.
Okay. Fine. In that case, I agree.
It would-
I was afraid there was another key floating around.
No, there's no other key.
Okay.
There's absolutely no other key floating around.
So we can eliminate
Yep.
that extra cost. if
That's
we
a lot
just
of
get the
cost
2
because they
keys.
have to come up here and do it.
I mean,
Don't play with
my
it.
suggestion is, realistically, we don't really need any keys. I
That's-
think we
that's-
should lock them up in the vault or off-site someplace.
Wasn't there a neutral third person somewhere?
Well, the only reason the key is the battery goes.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only reason why I suggest,
And as long as you can get into there,
Yeah.
put the keys in there, I think it's a good suggestion. Now, you got 2 ways of getting in there. One is through that one, and one is through the other way. And having 2 locks die from a battery at one time is,
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
When did he do that?
That was after the very first meeting, I believe.
Oh, I didn't know you did.
Yes, we've already done it. Skip and I stayed afterwards, after the meeting. and did
What
it.
we can do by the board has the power to validate a situation like that, to prevent going through this business again.
Yeah,
didn't
'cause
realize
I mean,
you'd done it.
everything looked okay, right? I mean,
And with my wife being a town justice for 15 years, she also looked at it and helped us
Right.
with the questions.
yeah, there were some questions that we both had, and I
And
wasn't
she
sure
could
what
answer
this
them,
was.
so I took care of that.
And she helped, yeah.
I move the town board validate
That's really,
the audit done by these 2 gentlemen, Kellogg and the lawyer and the judge, what do you call it, justice audit. That's beautiful.
I'll second.
Okay, we vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, wait, Scott can't second it.
I'll second it.
Good.
Thanks, Skip. Save you the trouble.
That's beautiful. I didn't know you did that.
Okay, next up would be the supervisor audit. We got a reminder to schedule that, but we don't have online access to the banking yet, plus I don't have the access to the computers, so we weren't able to do that
So we'll have
You guys
to
were-
postpone that, or
until we have online access and access
we
to
make
the
a note
computer.
in the minutes to that extent, and that's probably take care of it.
Okay, the next item, I'm going to make a motion to make an amendment from the organizational meeting to change the return check charge from $50 to the maximum allowable by New York State town law to plus actual bank charges. They need to be included in that.
Didn't that go to $20?
Yeah, but not plus actual bank charge.
No, but you got,
I put 15 in there.
I don't see the 20 in here anymore.
Right, if it's 20, I thought,
Our charge can be a maximum of 20 by state law, plus what you say about the bank charge.
yeah, we need to add that the actual bank charges need to be added to that.
No, but not to the 50, I thought I went down to
All right,
20.
Yeah,
It should be 20.
By law, we can only charge 20.
So that should be changed to 20.
So it should be $20 to the maximum allowable by New York State law.
No, $20 plus the maximum law.
John? Point of order, the actual recordings of the minutes, Sid said the maximum allowable by law, in case they changed it. It was $20, that was the motion. You changed it to the maximum allowable by law.
Well, that would cover it.
And then what you have to do now is also include the bank charges. You forgot to do that.
So we need a second on that, just to add the actual bank charges to that.
Yeah, I'll second.
Second. So vote.
Aye.
And the final old business motion is to make a town law to create a constabulary and go through the town attorney if needed to do so.
I would second that. If we don't, I'm pretty sure that's why he's aiming it at the attorney.
Oh,
I don't think we know enough to do that sitting here, as far as the wording and so forth.
I'm just saying if needed, we go through the
If we need it,
attorney.
we'll go through the attorney to
Oh.
have us, give us what we have to do for a law to take care of it.
yeah, sure.
So, but we do need to create that.
I would make such a motion.
In a second.
Second.
We vote on that.
Aye.
Okay, we're going to move on to new business. We need to appoint a bar member. So we need a board member to make a motion.
I make a motion, we appoint David Shitstone. Did I say it right?
Almost.
Say it for me, please.
Shitstone.
Thank you. Almost as hard as my name.
Okay, we have a second.
But for those that don't know, that's a Board of Assessment Review, the BAN, Board of Assessment Review.
Was caused by minor extension.
Okay.
So we need a second on that. Second that. Need a vote.
Aye, everybody?
Aye.
I know.
Somebody that's interested.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay. Next item, it was discovered that the general account check number 6026 was written to the order of Chia and Fleming for $1,000 in cash. There was no such approval for such expenditure by the board, no evidence of payment on any abstract of vouchers. It appears that Deputy Supervisor Kaluzny attempted to illegally use town funds to pay his own attorney. I hereby move that this matter be turned over to the Lyndon Town Attorney for further action and advice.
I'll second that.
We'll vote on that one.
Aye.
Aye.
Me.
Aye. Is there any other further new business? What's that?
The letter from the
Yeah.
state.
The letter about the records. Kathy, have you discussed it at the fire advisory board level? With the story?
No.
Put in the mailbox. Put in the mailbox.
We heard about the letter, but we never saw it. It is written to you.
Yeah.
I would suggest that, well, let me give you my opinion. And that's all I can do. A long time ago, we agreed that this record room, because of what it is and what we paid for it, is intended to keep the records from being burned up or flooded or fire or anything. It's completely proof of that. And we decided that anything to do with the town, as far as the vital record, should be in there. This is back when we built it. And that included fire department records, fire district records, and town records. And that's what it's been. Now, in the case of the fire district records, this gentleman that wrote back says that they have to have exclusive ability to get in there. And I would suggest that you might talk with your fire board when you get next meeting. If we put, well, I know, but you're gonna have to do something at the meeting. I would think that maybe to get around this, you don't have to get into that very often, I wouldn't think. You've got live records that you keep running, but your historical records and all the past stuff that are in there, if you had a 1 or 2 drawer file cabinet, and that were locked, and you had the exclusive of whoever you are the records clerk, then you'd have to have Frankie let you in, but that's not a big deal. You don't need to get in that often, and that would still keep the information true to the fire ward. Otherwise, nobody else would have access to it. Frank wouldn't have access to it. I don't know how much you need. I don't think you need more than a couple of file cabinets. A couple of file drawers. That's up to you. What do you think about that?
In terms of the filing cabinet in here, she doesn't have a key to it. And I don't have a key to it.
No, I don't want it in there because, I don't. To protect those records, they belong in a protected area.
Well, I understand, but
That's
I
the
mean, there's
reason.
boxes and stuff in there. I mean, there's
What
shelves
about those
full of
2, 3
boxes.
file cabinets that's in there now?
Those are all empty.
No?
However, though, those are bought on a justice grant.
Okay.
So you gotta be very cautious on how you use it. It should only be used for justice.
I think we worked that out. We always, if they needed a 2-drawer job, they could buy a 2-drawer job, take one of those out and stick it somewhere till we needed it somewhere else for the proper reason, and then go about your business. But that would solve it, in my opinion.
What about her records in here? Because there's a cabinet that's marked fire district. I don't have a key to that
Fire
cabinet.
company?
No, fire district.
I have no idea.
I guess you better look into it.
Well, I mean, I'm just telling you, by law, you're required to have the key.
All right.
I mean, you're
I don't
legally
have it.
responsible for it.
Okay.
So I don't have a key either, so.
Well, maybe you can do some homework
All right.
about that one in there.
Yeah.
And talk to your management about the other
I mean,
thing.
because in terms of that stuff, I don't know what's in there. But we can, as a town, use that filing cabinet, use another filing cabinet.
So if the records are removed and
Well, if we
Then
can get
that would
into
be
there,
available.
yeah.
First, you ought to look at them. Some of them may not need to be kept. That's up to you folks. I think we can work it out.
You gotta get a key for it.
I'm fine. All right, okay.
I guess we're tabling it. In a
Table
sense,
this
until we
one
get some more homework.
until we get some more
Okay.
information.
Alright.
And you get a key.
And, which is what you're suggesting anyway, so
Yeah.
we have that in there. But that information that's out there in our cabinet is in there.
That would be the way to go, I think.
That would be the way to go.
I think you don't know how much data you got until she has a chance to see what's in the unknown
Yeah,
cabinet.
once we go through that, she could bring that to, to our meetings and we can go through it, check it out. All we can
Throw out
just-
some of it, hopefully,
Yeah, and then everything could be put in there,
in a separate cabinet,
and then
a
lock.
lock for you folks.
Just strictly for us, and then any access we have to go through the state.
Yeah, to go through the clerk, but then
We
we have to get in there
We
right
have no
away.
problem with that, as long as we can, we'll take it up at the next meeting about purchasing a cabinet.
Find out how much data you, how much room
How
you
much
need.
room,
then walk
whether
into
it's
it.
a 2 or a 4, we got the room. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to public comments. Anybody wanting to take comments all ratified?
Well, I have a question. And I'm just trying to, okay, so we didn't have a supervisor for this whole past month, correct?
Technically, because we never voted.
Okay.
We're trying to be scrumptiously legal.
Yeah. Well, so anything that was done by him is...
Wasn't done. But in the same motion, the board ratified, in other words, made legal anything he'd done in that period. The board has
Oh, the board can do
the legal
that.
right to do that. Our lawyer has directed us on this.
Okay.
We can say everything he did during that period, even though he was not legally the supervisor, we can say it's okay. We ratify and approve it,
Okay, so,
which is what we did.
okay, so he had access to all our banking and everything,
Yep.
just as a resident?
Yep. No, well, he had access
Yeah.
as
He
a
was only a resident.
as a supervisor, but he wasn't supervisor. But
Correct.
even so, we have said it's okay. We will stand behind everything he did
Of course.
during that period.
Okay.
That's what that ratification
Of
is.
course. Okay.
I think that falls under the category of acting in good faith.
Probably would if they got into an argument, but we have the legal right to take care of it anyway.
Yeah, but acting in good faith is what supports everything.
Yeah, it's too bad everybody couldn't live like that.
Yeah.
We got it right.
Yeah.
The gentleman in the corner has a question.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions about the town's website. First of all, once minutes from 1 month are approved in the next month, will they be put on the website the way they have in the past?
Right?
Oh,
That's just, I'll send them, once they're approved,
Yeah.
I'll send an email.
And then secondly, although we all hope that there won't ever be cause for a lot of special meetings, my understanding right now is that past practice has been that you notify the Mercury Gazette and you put a sign on the back door. And the Mercury Gazette is only a weekly paper, so if you're calling a special meeting for 5 days later, the chances of it being in the Mercury Gazette are pretty slim. And which means that if people want to know if there's ever going to be a special meeting, they have to drive up here every other day throughout the entire year. So I would like to request that if there ever is a special meeting, that be put on the website. And I know it's kind of awkward because I think you have to work through Southern Tier West rather than doing it yourself.
That's correct. It has to be done through Southern Tier West.
How do you,
I have
what's
a
the time
contact
element?
person.
If you have to put something in, is there a time element before it actually gets on?
I'd have to check on
There have
that.
to be some time. Somebody has to go in and manipulate the website.
That membership fee that we signed today, that covers them going in and changes throughout the year.
Maintenance fee.
Yeah.
Maintenance fee throughout the year.
Do changes have to be done by them?
Yeah.
Or, in other words, if someone on the town board or some other citizen said, teach me how to do it and I will do it for the town, would they allow that, or does it have to be done by them?
I think it has to be done by them.
Yeah.
Because we paid for that.
Practice for the past 3 years that we've had that website in, the lady in charge of it usually gets them in within minutes of when you send them in to her.
During business hours?
Yep. So, and it is suggested under the town law manual that your website is also used to post notices to special meetings, just as he's saying. And it is a good idea. That's
Why
what
shouldn't we do it?
we should.
Okay. What do we need to do to say that we will do it?
No, it's absolutely a good idea, and it's recommended you do it anyway, so.
Also move that we use the website to post any events or any special meetings or whatever. Can't lose with that.
We're paying them to do it.
Yeah.
That's what the website's for.
That's my
It's
motion.
also news.
You got enough of that, Frank? I know what it is.
Any special events?
Special events, special meetings. It's a communication device and we aren't using it too well.
Yeah, I mean, you could even put in a notice about a leak meeting or something.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Anything like that.
It's for anything you wanna do.
And I have one other question or comment. I'm not sure if this has been done already, given the unsettled, conditions in the town, but there is something like a 50-page document due to the controller's office every year, supposedly by the end of January. It's called the annual update document. I'm not sure if that's been done. It's a monster. I'm guessing that...
You aware of that, Dale?
Yeah, that's when Karen does.
Oh,
That's your annual report. It's called AUD.
Okay.
Annual
She does
update
it.
document. It's supposed to be done by March 30th, I believe.
But she prepares it from all of the
Yes, and
statistical data.
she'll publish it
Yeah,
to
we
the
do
board.
it. We could argue whether we do it on time, perhaps, but we do it.
Yeah, it's supposedly the end of January, but they let you have to the end of March before they start bombarding the supervisor with emails.
We've been in arrears with that before. haven't we?
There was one year she didn't get it until June or July. It got done, but most of the time it's done. It turns out that it's tax season for her at the same time this is supposed to be done, and it's a complete
Well, yes,
summary.
we do it. Perhaps not too well, but we do it. Another unfunded mandate from God.
John will be talking to her about it, so.
You know, as everybody knows, this is going to court. And my question is, after this is settled in court, how do we repair all the damage that's done? How can we work together as a town and start taking on the issues that are needed to be addressed? You know, aging trucks, roads, disgruntled town employees. These are important issues that have to be addressed. So I think it's time that everybody in this room start to look at making this town better. And we have to work together. I don't know how we're going to get there. No idea how we're going to get there. But we all have to swallow our pride and start working together and try to accomplish these goals. That's,
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
I'll agree with you on that. It's nice to see the seats filled up, because how many board meetings have we been here where there's 2 people sitting here?
Right.
3 people sitting here? I mean, there's people here I haven't seen in a year or more. That's great. That's what we need. We need more people to bring this stuff to us. How can we act on it if we don't know what it is?
We can't discuss the...
Right. But I just...
However, it does bring a point one way or the other.
Right.
And that is good for that point of view.
Right. We need to...
And that will give us into a position where we're much more likely to do what you're talking about.
And no matter how it washes out, we have to work together. Everybody.
Get back to Sid made a motion about the website.
Yes.
I already seconded that. And I need a vote.
We need a vote, that's right.
Aye.
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 Thank you, Mark, for getting me.
I keep forgetting the voting, don't I?
Any other comments?
Yeah, I got one. You guys had the lawyer send me a letter, which you just read. I was wondering if you guys are going to have the same lawyer send Carlson up there a letter for the same facts. What you've discussed in there, I don't have it. This is coming back to the same thing that you say, I have the keys. That man right up over there got into this boardroom. Now, why don't you ask him how he got into this boardroom? And they believe, you know about it. Today we called the sheriffs because we didn't know what was going on. If everything was changed, how did he get in here? Second question, okay? How, when that one of the, he was supposed to turn everything over to Bobby, all the credit cards and everything, all right, adamantly admitted he turned everything over, all right, then they admitted to you, John, and I believe you were in the same room, and I believe that young lady Kim was there, admitted he still had the cards, and he cut them out in front of you people, when he admitted he turned everything over to Bobby. Okay? Now all that stuff that I'm supposed to have, maybe you ought to ask him. It wasn't turned over to me. I got the stuff.
Okay, it's my turn.
Those credit cards that we turned over to Karen Thurgo.
Yep.
The bookkeeper.
Okay?
Along with
if they were supposed to be turned over to Bobby, why do you still have them? Why was it only turned over after we found out we closed the account?
They were no good? I don't know.
Yeah, well, don't you think you could have turned over to Bobby when everything else was turned over to him?
There was one credit card that was expired, wasn't any good. Then there was one credit card that you canceled the card out, and it was
You
cut
even
off.
had an ATM card or a debit card.
Oh, there's no debit
No,
card.
there's no debit card.
These are credit cards.
There was one credit card, I'll go ahead and speak up. One credit card, and then on the 1st of January, when it's no longer my responsibility, I cut it in half because it had my name on it.
That's what he's supposed to do.
I'm supposed to do that. I cut it in half, turn it into Karen and him, and that's it. There's no other cards. There was something Bob to have, I turned them over to him. Pardon?
Karen didn't know anything about it.
Well, Sharon has them.
She's got them.
She's got them.
Why do we have to have a $25,000 credit line anyway for this little town of 700 people? Oh, 22,000.
I don't know, but credit card companies do raise the credit line intervals as years
Some
go
do.
by, which is a bad practice in my opinion, for especially the town. And I would suggest, if we do go the route of a credit card, is to look into what's called a purchase card. You can put limits on it. I don't know if it'll work with this
You can put
town.
you can put a limit on the
And you
credit
can
card.
keep it on the credit
Yeah,
card.
you keep it that way, 'cause Diane had too high one, she didn't like it, she called them up and knocked it down.
You have to watch that.
And they were very amazed, I never heard anybody ask for that before, but it happened.
I do have an application for a credit card, but I haven't pursued it. It's something that we have to talk about later on. And if we do establish a credit card, there should be a limit on there because we very seldom use it, maybe for postage stamps.
But any limit you want on it.
You know, maybe $500 limit, but I think we should address that later.
At Staples, you had a $10,000. What did you buy at Staples, what do you buy, you had a credit line of 10,000.
But was that credit line ever exceeded? I don't know.
Yeah.
Or even came close to that.
I'm not saying it was
I think
all
that-
used, but I'm saying, it was used, but why a $10,000 credit
I
line?
think
It's
because that's what
stupid.
they gave them,
Well, you can knock it down.
We
That's
can-
right. can be knocked down,
That's something that we
and
should
probably, and it should be on something.
probably bring up under, look into that and bring it up maybe next meeting.
Yeah, who's gonna look into it?
I can.
Okay. We're on close terms with the county.
Yeah. With the bookkeeper. And
So let's take that and make a note that you report in the next meeting.
Keep in mind, please, that these cards can't be used by anybody until the board approves them anyways. The most expensive thing we bought at Staples was those 5 file cabinets. The board had approved it before the purchase was made.
But the point of
So-
having a limit on them, I think is.
That's excellent. There shouldn't be much of a need for anything over that. And there actually is no need for a credit card except for the case where, like Carbonite, will not accept a check or any other form of payment. You have to give them a...
Carbonite is the backup system that
Yep.
keeps all our records up to date.
In fact, that was the only reason we even had a card, was for that.
Carbonite though can be purchased at Staples. Again, you just go out and purchase it.
Well, you have to buy it
the whole
over again.
Yeah,
This renews automatically otherwise.
it's the same price
Yeah.
in terms of, if you want to avoid using a
Card, here.
credit card.
Yeah, that's a choice.
They never answered money?
Now,
Has that lapsed?
No, it's automatic, it's automatic now, it just pops.
Yeah, but if there's no credit card.
No, it's
No.
in between.
no, it was done on the credit, or well, something was charged on the
At the
credit.
end of last year.
it's 59 something.
They really never answered
that a
Leonard's
yearly fee?
questions neither.
Yeah, it's a yearly fee.
They never
so that
finished
makes sense.
answering Leonard's questions neither.
Plus, if John goes ahead and you guys approve what he's talking about, you wouldn't even need a credit card.
Make your point again.
I said you didn't answer Leonard's question.
Re-size that question, please. I need to get it straight.
Well, I was wondering if your lawyer was going to send Mr. Carlson one of those letters too, because I don't have any of that. I never had the passwords, but it seems as though after the last minute of the meeting, your name got put on. Nobody had the password to get on. The keys, which she entered in the building, I never had. We authorized it to be changed after that. You know, the credit card, okay, you said Karen had it. What else was addressed in that letter?
The computer. Where's the computer? Does anybody know where the computer is?
I mean,
You don't have
he's
the
been so
computer?
honest with us so far that, you know, he doesn't have any of this stuff. And he turned it all over.
Did Mr. O'Shea pick up the computer?
Yes, he did.
Did
O'Shea
you ever
and
get
Frank,
the computer from O'Shea?
Bob O'Shea and Frank, I handed it to both of them. They took it over.
Did Bob give it to you?
Okay.
I didn't say, did he give it to you?
No.
So the trail ends at O'Shea's.
Frank, do you have any idea
So
where
we'll
it
go
went?
back to the lawyer and have him send a letter to Mr. O'Shea.
If we'd known better, we'd give him a letter to both.
The normal chain would be,
But put it this way, it was on your tour of duty, so that's why I was addressing
But he
you.
was illegal.
Yes, it was illegal to keep that computer.
No, he was illegal.
The deputy was illegal, you said.
Yeah. So now you're just,
well, we need to locate the computer. And
That's the
the
bottom line.
passwords, and apparently there's only 2 keys. That's not an issue.
That's not an issue now. Good.
So it's the computer passwords and any other items that he can have, which I have no idea.
I can shed some light, at least on the computer passwords. Leonard doesn't have those. Leonard was never given those in terms of anything. So, and I know Bob changed numbers he had
When he, you know.
when he got in. And Leonard never used.
You think
computer.
Bob might have it?
I would assume that you
That's
have.
all we
I
got
don't.
left now,
I
yeah.
don't have it, so I mean that would be. He changed it, and
It's not in the vault room.
no, he
Not
no.
any place.
But the,
Well, I
the
guess we-
passwords for the computers, that would be.
Let's go back to the lawyer and let him start over again.
Okay.
Would that be logical?
Yes, I think so, and that takes Lenny off the
No, look.
hook, I would say.
Do you at least have the email address, because on a daily basis, I know from when I was a town supervisor, emails come in from the state controller's office, retirement system, Little Valley, other town supervisors.
I do have access to the Lyndon supervisor account
Okay.
for the email, but I have to use my personal computer, and I shouldn't be doing that.
Oh, that's right.
I've been advised against that, but in case of an emergency, which I have, or in case of necessity, I have to use it because I can't function without it.
Sure. And have you did put your own password in?
Yes, yes, I was able to gain access to that account, and that's it.
How did
So-
you gain access to the account? The last person has to have the password to get in.
Well, apparently they didn't change that password, so we got lucky.
Is it 1, 2, 3, 4?
Pretty much.
I have
Okay, Kathleen's got a question here.
When you're dealing with stores and Staples and places like that, and you're a government agency and you're tax exempt, does establishing an account save you a lot of paperwork with tax exemptions?
I believe it would.
starting an account at Staples, you mean?
Yeah, or you're having
this-
that, or, yeah, just the Staples is the example. I know I have trouble with the district because I have to supply, I don't have a tax number because I'm a district, which is really hard. So I have to do this little form every time I wanna go buy something. It just drives me crazy.
You don't have a tax number.
They don't issue tax
No,
numbers.
a
to the
government
district.
agency doesn't get a tax, a nonprofit tax exempt number.
Yeah, the town does have a tax exempt number, and with Staples, because they do have a employer ID number, and that's what was required. She's saying she doesn't have.
I have an employee ID number,
Would that be the same as
but I
ours
don't have
for
a
the
New York
district?
State exemption number. Set up an account,
There's one.
giving them your tax number to make it flow faster. Otherwise, it'll be like me having your hand on a piece of paper every time you go buy
So
it.
we'll go back to
Pack of
old
food.
business.
True. Yeah, I don't know.
Just drives you crazy.
That's who does the purchasing, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Is there any other comments?
Actually, I have just a quick question regarding access to the building. You know, keys, no keys, passwords, no passwords, all that kind of thing. Is it still open to the public? Let's say, for example, the Boy Scouts want to have a meeting here. Are they still able to do that? Or?
With board approval.
Board approval.
Okay.
It's all boils down to that.
And then does that, does Frank have to be present, or does anybody have to?
No.
I mean, they got to get in somehow.
No, this room is this room.
This room is public use.
Not quite that easy.
Public with limitations.
Limitations by the board. If the Boy Scouts wanted to come in here, more than likely, somebody would open the door for them. You know, one of us clients or whatever.
Okay.
But it is not open to the public per se.
Got it. Okay.
Because we also have to be careful, there are justice records back there that are sitting in here.
Okay.
So those had to.
I mean, I don't know if it's ever happened, but
No, that's not the point.
I was just wondering if the public has access to it. It is a
Not
public.
generally, no.
Okay.
I've been given a number for the fire district to meet here on the third Tuesday. That's the only number we have. The fire company has not been granted anything or.
Damn, I forgot to bring the letter over. I got the letter
To grant.
to that.
But
Once-
how could we go about doing that for the fire company?
I have a letter from the fire company, do I not?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, and I forgot to bring it over and I wrote it out. Just asking permission. And I'll get it over next time or, well, we don't need the letter.
We can just, you guys can approve that right
Yeah,
now.
I move we allow the fire company to meet at the regular
First
scheduled times.
Tuesday,
First Tuesday.
if it's available.
We don't do anything, let's see, first Tuesday. There's no, judge doesn't use it, it's clear normally, is it not?
Well, it always has been.
That's your regular date. So that's my
Let's send the
motion.
regular
There's a
date.
motion, we got a second?
Second.
Want to take a vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Next question. Who would be in charge of that?
Charge
I
of
have,
what?
I would notify Frank that we're having a meeting, or somebody,
If you have a code for this door, that's the end of it.
I have a code for the district, may I use it?
Well, I mean, the fire department.
May I use it for the fire department?
Are you always at the meeting with fire?
Yes, I'm the
That would
secretary.
be
for that.
easier if we could just use the same code.
That's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, the fewer codes, the better.
Any other comments? Okay, I want to go to the supervisor's report. And there was an error with the February 11th, 2014 general abstract. I totaled it 5 times and came up with the same number. It was $25,239.49. From what I calculated 5 times, it should have been $25,230.49. There was a $9 error, just the addition.
Yeah.
Did you check that?
Yes, I did check
Okay.
that.
Is that resolved?
Yes.
Okay, just want to bring that up.
And those numbers again.
25,239.49, that's what it was. It should have been $25,230.49, $9 difference. And I provided you with copies of the supervisor's report. A lot of numbers on there. But,
I had one question on that. Not a big deal, but under my historian's contractual, you paid out $1,050, and that was for that. And then the outfit that authorized the sign, the historical sign, which would go up in the old schoolhouse this spring, they paid the town that money. Now, does my account ever get clear to that?
I'd have to check into that.
I would ask you would, because I'm 220% over the budget in the years now we got going.
So, actually, was that supposed to have been paid last year or this year?
No, I think we probably got, I'm not sure. Okay, they got paid last year. And, well, if we got paid last year, how the hell it comes up here? January through.
That's something I'll have to check with the.
I know it cancels out, I'm sure of that, but, this looks a little strange to be hanging over.
420%, yeah.
Well, no, the 1,050.
Oh, 1,050, yeah, that's a lot of money.
It is, I only get $200 contract, $250 contractual. 250. No problem, that's
So I'll
not a big deal.
I'll check with Karen.
Yeah.
By the way, next spring we will have somewhat of a ceremony. We've got a plaque about yay high, yay wide, cast aluminum, like you see these New York with the blue and the gold, historical markers. There's an outfit in New York that somebody's got a lot of money, and I mean millions. And we go through a large paperwork operation, which I did. They will give you a sign with the wording that you want on it, and then you can put the sign up. They got a big, beautiful aluminum pole about yay long. You do the cementing yourself, put it up. And that would be out in front of the schoolhouse up on North Center. And that will happen this spring. Obviously, I got the thing about 2 months ago, and that wasn't the time. But it will happen.
Nice.
So 115.
It's gonna say Lyndon, not Elgin. I can just see him doing it wrong. Cast aluminum. According to the zip code, according to the map.
Yeah, so this is how we generate. The mileage,
You don't have to put that in both sides. That is not no.
No, they didn't.
No, the other one.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, I know that.
Oh, it says
Over here, he's
miscellaneous.
telling us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, sure.
Because if he reads it,
Yeah, why the Williams and law book came out of my book. Do you want me to tell them about what I was just talking to John about was there was a couple of charges from 1/10/2014. There was a check for $151.13 that it looked like it was made out to me, but I didn't receive that. I didn't put in for anything, so I don't know why it was made out to me. Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
Oh, you know what? I do know what it's for. Okay. Actually, that was for the town taxes,
Town taxes?
for the new property. That's why it was made out.
Oh.
Yeah. It went back and yeah, I know, now I know.
So
I couldn't figure out, I didn't get a check.
She's just gotta find a place for it.
Yes. Because that was for the.
They kind of scared you, didn't they?
Yeah, I go, well, I didn't put in for a check.
Your own tax?
Yeah.
Okay, then,
And the Williamson Law Book, it was approved in December. I just wanted to know why it was paid this year instead of out of last year's budget. Why it's coming out of the current budget.
Both of those?
No, just the clerk.
Well, apparently, did the bill come in this recently? Or?
No, that was done in December.
But we must never have approved it December. Did we?
Yeah, it never came through me in terms of putting it on an auction.
Okay.
Those came in, they were approved at the year-end meeting, and Bob was supposed to take them down and get them paid. They would have come out of last year's budget.
So it's at Karen's level? It'll be at Karen's level?
Yeah.
There's another one for your list.
okay, I'll stop.
All right.
Right, let's go to the clerk's report.
Okay, town clerk, I took in $229.75, and I paid out $229.75. $195.75 to the supervisor, and $34 to the New York State Agriculture and Markets Division for the dog license. And then I do have, what is the process of buying supplies for the clerk?
How do you do it, Neil? What's the process for buying supplies for the clerk? How are you doing
As
it?
long as the board tells him what he's allowed to buy, he can do anything he wants. If you want to set a limit, a dollar limit, back when we had needed supplies, you would set a $300 limit on it.
Okay.
And that would have been for paper and
Now,
toner.
is that to Nancy particularly, or just to the clerk particularly?
Well, what happens is, within that limit, then it has to go to the board and they have to approve it. It's called pretty much of a prepay.
I know that, but I mean, we made that resolution back God knows when, right?
About 2 years ago, yeah.
Why wouldn't that be holding now? You don't care who the clerk is.
I don't remember the exact amount. I'm saying, for instance, it was. I don't know. You need to look it up and go by that, or just give him another one.
Well, let's give him another one. It'll be easier, wouldn't it, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
$300 enough?
Oh, it should be, I don't see.
Okay, I move we allow the clerk to spend up to $300 for necessary supplies.
And then how does the clerk pay for it?
Yeah, how do I?
Well, when you get low, I guess they gotta yell again.
We have an account there. They'll send you the Staples account.
Okay. Well, I don't have the card or anything.
Bob hasn't. Last I saw him.
How did it work, by voucher or what?
I had an account online, and when the bill came in, then that limit, you just do a voucher, and that bill gets attached to the voucher, statement, I should say. It's attached to
Put a voucher in.
Let me see if I can get access to the
and it gets audited by the board, and they approve it.
the
Wow.
credit card number.
Yeah, well, how do I go, if I have to do it online, you have to provide a credit card number, is my question. So if I have to provide a credit card number, I don't have the Staples account.
You use a credit card, right?
Not the card physically.
No, I have.
He has it. Somebody has it.
The Staples card with Dale's name on it.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't know if it's still valid or not, but I can get.
Nancy, your order supplies, or I would, on a online account.
That card should be
And
changed
if you
to
can't,
somebody else's
if you
name.
can't get it, I'd be
Yes.
happy to stop and show you how to, you just type in and you're in there.
Well, I know how to get onto Staples, I don't know the account. I mean, they're gonna just send it to us without,
You have an account there, and it has a tax exempt built into it and everything, so they won't charge you tax.
but if,
Information.
okay.
Okay, you two will work that out?
Yeah, okay.
The account number is on the card, John.
Well, I just wanted, so I'm able to do that, so the board will approve it if I have to.
Well, we've got $300.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Aye.
Let's not bring it up, vote.
All in favor?
All right, Skip, you in favor of $300?
Yes.
Clerk?
You get it.
Forgotten one. I check my email 4 or 5 times a day. I've never gotten one from them. First time I even saw their name was on the Karen's report today. So I don't know how.
Okay, 'cause they told George that it's going to your email.
No, it's not. I'll guarantee it.
Well, are you getting?
But you're getting the bill somehow.
No, we didn't.
It got paid by
No,
someone.
it didn't get paid for February. George called.
What has to happen? Does he have to call them and take his
Call.
name off of it?
No, call April Hartloff. You have her number in there, right?
All right, yeah.
She hasn't called me back.
She's the one that will
I
get it straightened out
believe
for you.
George talked to her.
Hmm?
I believe George talked to her, and she
No,
said
you
that-
should be talking to her, not George. It's
Well,
not-
I mean, he called because it was...
Actually, John should be talking to her.
Well,
I'll help John with it. It's very simple to do.
we just need to get the bill.
I want to get it resolved.
Because there was
The
no
bill comes
February
right
bill,
first.
there was no March, and George called.
So, that's another for your list with Dale.
Alright, anything else on the, that's it? Justice report? Is there a justice report?
Oh, you know, there was. It was,
The
$20.
check, the $20 check that you gave me was in the bank card
Yes.
in the money market. justice report. Other reports, I guess we have
I have a tax collector.
a tax collector report.
The town is all paid. There was interest and penalty paid, $749.99 for February to the town, and the county is currently at $443,487.20.
So that $750 is our money?
Yes, $749.99. And then next, in March, whatever the March interest
Might be
is,
some more.
Will be some more.
So don't pay your taxes, we could use the interest.
Okay. I believe I had a code enforcement report. There's no permits issued, just phone calls. I believe how was that? And I don't know if there's any assessment report. Assessment report, no fire. Highway report.
Can you give us a...
Hopefully spring's in the air.
Good report.
Yeah.
Cut it off
That's
right
more,
there.
yeah.
It was today.
Yeah, everything's motoring along okay. Put springs in one truck here the other day. But salt and sand and 1/8 is running a little on the lower side, but hopefully...
One more storm?
Yeah, hopefully
Well,
spring's
not
in the
much
air.
more.
But everything's working right now, so getting stuff ready for spring work. Other than that, we're rolling along.
I saw a bill come through for Buffalo Crush, you guys are back there instead of 100?
Yeah, we hauled a few here a while back.
They're open back up for business?
Buffalo Crush don't close for winter.
Well, I mean, they're letting towns back in?
Just for 1As.
Yeah, they were selling sand to somebody else,
Right,
right?
right,
That's
they had
why
all
they
that
shut it
sand
off.
sold off, so we used a lot of 1As, and we had some sand on the side that we'd haul earlier with the city, so we were mixing it.
So if you need more, you're still getting sand from under them?
If we can, but he's supposed to be gone too, he has to open up for us, and get something in.
I think there's a call, I saw a call for that.
I can just say.
I'm sorry.
Is it too late to ask a question?
Yes.
In the event that I wanted to do some ditching between the road and my property line, because Winchell Road, just like many others, just kind of floods away and my house is moving, so I wondered if it would be all right, or do I have to get a special permit? Do I have to talk to the town supervisor if I just want to ditch alongside the road?
I think that would be a
Talk to George, like highway superintendent.
Call you, or
to see what you
sure he will.
come up with.
All right.
We're gonna talk about town property. It's, I have a letter here to Mr. Kaluzny, a copy of it. I'm going to read this letter from the town attorney. It's addressed from David Brobham, and his address is Houghton, New York. It's addressed, it was dated March 6, 2014. It's addressed to Leonard Kaluzny, 1835 Linden Road, Frankfort, New York, 14737. Reference is Town of Linden. It says, Dear Mr. Kaluzny, I am writing as the attorney for the Town of Linden. I understand that you served the town as deputy supervisor until such a position was abolished by the town board. The New York State Supreme Court Appellate Division has held that a town board may abolish the position of deputy supervisor at any time. See Stetler versus Town Board of Amherst, 46A period D period 2D 1006 period. I have been advised that you have retained custody of certain town property, including computers, a computer, passwords, keys, and a code for the access to the office used by the supervisor and clerk. You should be aware that withholding those items from the town could result in a felony grand larceny charge under you against Article 155 of the penal law. In addition, you could be charged with other crimes involving the computer under Article 156 of the penal law. You should make arrangements to immediately deliver the above items to the town board or supervisor to prevent the need for New York State Police involvement. Yours very truly, David C. Brodigan. In view of this letter, I motion to have any town property mentioned in the letter turned over to me within 24 hours. That's the motion that I need, so we need a second.
Second.
Take a vote.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, next on the item for old business would be town